Hi, I'm your host, Jacob Lampman,
And your co-host Zachary White, along with the resident camera minion Riley Jensen.
Hello.
and this is our third episode of Fireside Chats. Plenty to cover today. A lot of Trump talk in the news recently, but we did manage to find some other articles, something to, I don't know, spice it up a bit rather than just talking about an Oompa Loompa for an hour. As is tradition so far, we're going to be starting with the Democratic primaries, and who better to start to talk about than our great delusional candidate, John Delaney. This is pretty hilarious. His staffers, his own staff that run his campaign, have asked him to drop out.
I can just imagine that. It's
I know, it's
all right,
freaking
guys. What's our plan doing? Dude, just please drop out. I want to go home.
Former U.S. Representative John Delaney rejected claims Friday that campaign staffers asked him to drop out of the 2020 presidential race. He says, and I quote, "No one on my team has asked me to drop out of the race, and I have no plans to drop out of the race. In addition, anybody who spent any time actually reading the FEC reports would see clearly that we did not spend $19 million on the campaign. We spent $9 million since we launched 5 presidential campaign." I think a lot of people who did leave thought you gotta eat, you need a paycheck, so that was a big part of it. Quoting a former staffer, Delaney was the first to enter the race in the 2020 presidential nomination, announcing his candidacy 721 days ago. So he announced back in 2017.
Wow.
Friday's report provoked the hashtag #DropOutRainey to begin trending on Twitter.
I think at its peak, it was at number 3 on trending.
Yep, and this was all started by a 2020 rival candidate, former U.S. Senator Mike Gravel, leading on the online. Can we ratio him out of the debates? Get trending #DropoutDelaney, as what wrote or tweeted. Speaking of Mike Gravel,
oh man, I'm so disappointed. He did not qualify the debates because of some DNC fuckery. Steve Bullock has made the debates instead of Gravel because he had 3 qualifying polls at 1%. The problem is Gravel wasn't listed on many of the qualifying polls, so he only has 1 qualifying poll, even though he has the 67,000 individual donors now, I think.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Yep. So this is obviously if you're blind, this isn't obvious. People who are up to date on these things, obviously this is very deliberate to keep Mike Gravel out of the debates.
He's the biggest threat to the establishment. I mean, he wasn't going to win, but he was going to take a wrecking ball to the establishment, to the Kamala Harris,
he wasn't
Joe Biden.
He wasn't going to play nice. If you see his debate performance in 2008, it would probably be amped up tenfold. Not pulling any punches against establishment Democrats. And so, as a response, the establishment tweaked requirements, kept him out of a few polls, and now he is no longer qualified for the debates. And some random ass establishment hack who most people have never heard of is now qualified in his place. I'm sure he'll make it very far. Maybe like one debate. He'll make it through this debate.
I like all these establishment figures falling at like less than 1% who are like, listen, these people who are promising you health care and stuff, they're being ridiculous. We can't get any better than we are right now. Might as well do nothing. We need realistic solutions, which means no solutions.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, vote for me. Fundamentally nothing will change, but it won't be Donald Trump. Yay.
I'm not Donald Trump, vote for me. I'm like, well, there are 330 million people who could be the president then.
Yeah, I don't want Bill from King of the Hill being my president, especially if he's running on fundamentally no substance. I mean, just imagine if for some reason, God himself, blessed John Delaney, and he's somehow miraculously won the presidency. What do you think he would change? Do you think he would overturn very much of Trump's policy?
The tax cuts would stay. Deficit would continue to be terrible without any improvement to quality of life.
And then you
Inequality
have
would continue to
the
rise.
typical establishment Democrat, Obama era, Hillary type war hawkish, limited quote unquote interventions. So that would just get ramped up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as a president, he's just, what does he bring to the table other than more of what the American people don't want?
Nothing.
Exactly.
That's why he's polling at 1%, even though he's been in the race for 3 million years and
he's
spent
been in the race
$9 million.
So much, way longer than anybody else. I guess being
1%.
first doesn't necessarily mean you're the best. Hopefully, this debate he'll do just as poorly as he did in the last one. He might get the message that nobody's gonna vote for him, and that he should just drop out.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt it, but
along with Michael Bennett. I don't know why Michael Bennett hasn't dropped out.
Yeah, they're just delusional. It's
At
because
least Walwell saw the writing on the wall. Bennett should have seen it as well. It's pretty obvious.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the Democratic primaries, we do have a lineup for the next debates.
Mm-hmm.
You want to read that?
Yes, we do. There will be a round 2 for Joseph R. Biden Jr. versus Senator Kamala Harris. Gonna be honest, I don't care about that matchup that much. What I care about is that Biden dodged Bernie and Warren in this debate.
I know. I feel like the placings of the candidates are very strategic.
I mean,
at least you got Tulsi Gabbard in here. Yeah. She'll take a few punches.
She needs to be more aggressive this time. She needs to go after.
Kamala got a huge polling boost from tearing Biden into an asshole.
If she can kill Biden and Harris in one night, she could get that big boost.
Mm-hmm. And then on the first night, we got Lion Mayor Pete with Bernie and Elizabeth Warren. I don't know. There's not a lot here. There's not a lot here for Bernie to eviscerate. He'll probably get attacked by John Delaney a few times because John Delaney.
And then we'll have Bet on My Stork with the
nothing to say.
Listen,
talk,
I speak
Spanish. Won't have anything to say.
My great grandfather was a slave owner, and slavery is bad.
Oh yeah, a lot of nothing is going to be said in these debates.
And then we got John Delaney and Breakfast Cereal John Hickenlooper both on the same night. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of weak. Speaking of one candidate, good old Mayor Pete, for anybody that was supporting him, just recently reneged on his support for Medicare and, God, what else?
I think way back he said he was in support of some form of Medicare for all, just not Bernie's. And then I think it slowly morphed into like weak public option, expanded Obamacare type stuff.
Yeah, and you can, the way he changes his statements, you can definitely tell who his donors are. I would encourage anybody to look it up if you care, because Pete's not going to win the primary. He's like, I'm a gay mayor. That'll be enough to carry me through.
I'm a gay mayor. I'm also Hillary Clinton in a skin suit.
Vote for me. I know. No, Gillibrand's probably Hillary in a skin suit. No. Who would literally be Hillary in a skin suit?
I think it's Buttigieg. I think it is.
That's sad. And anybody who supports him, if you support Pete, then you must support how the 2016 presidential race ended up.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's exactly where you're going to get.
People talk about electability on these candidates, but I don't think the establishment is very electable. People are disgusted by the corruption of the establishment. So,
Mm-hmm.
and people like Medicare for all.
Yeah.
Polls over 50% nationally. Polls even fairly well in the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you don't support a form of Medicare for all, then
you're not a serious candidate.
And you're beholden to drug companies, because obviously the ones who are balking hardest against Medicare for all are the drug companies.
Mm-hmm. But even the ones who are taking money are even pretending to be for Medicare for all, Cory Booker's and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Booker and Kamala take PAC money anymore, but I still think they take money bundling. So, those dinners where it's $5,000 a plate just to be there.
Think they do any private speeches?
I doubt they would on the campaign. After they win the nomination, maybe.
Well, Hillary was still
After
doing
they're
private
done being
speeches.
president, definitely.
Oh yeah, I mean, then you just get the Obama strategy where you just put on a smile and say I'm for you, and then turn around as soon as you're president. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think can a candidate really get away with that though.
I don't know about you, but the two who bug me the most are Klobuchar and Gillibrand. They both just bug me, just irritate me.
Gillibrand especially, all she does is just butt into the freaking.
Or when she's asked a question, it's like, "Oh man, Donald Trump, he's the worst. He's terrible. I'm against Donald Trump. I'm against Donald Trump. Everybody in a Democratic primary, we're all Democrats, and he's a Republican president. Oh man, I don't like the president. I don't like him. Like, well, thank you.
Vote for me because I'm a Democrat and not a Republican, and you do not like Republicans because they are Republicans."
Mm-hmm. Tulsi's my number one, but she needs to pick it up.
Oh yeah. If she can get her fangs into somebody, then her polling will be up.
I think that if she starts picking up steam in the polls and gets to like around where Warren is, I think Bernie might start stepping back. I'm not sure, but I don't know. Because the only reason Bernie came in the first place is because he thought there was no one to carry his ideas. Obviously, he doesn't trust Warren to do that, but he might trust Tulsi with it.
We'll see. It's hard to say who's going to come out on this. I mean, it's easy to say who's not going to come out on this.
Delaney, Hickenlooper, Buttigieg, Ryan, Jay Inslee.
Leon Castro, I doubt will get super far. Cory Booker.
Maybe if Jay Inslee defies the DNC and makes his climate debate, and maybe he'll invite Gravel.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how far Jay plans to go with his campaign. We'll see if
he's gonna drop out and run for governor again, is he not?
I don't know.
I hope not.
Has he announced at this point that he was planning on dropping out?
No, he has not announced it, but he's not gonna win, and I'm guessing he still wants some kind of power, so I'm guessing he'd run for governor again.
I bet if he doesn't do super well in this next debate, he's probably not gonna stay very long.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, shit, if he decides to stay in longer, I wonder who's gonna become the next governor of Washington State.
I know. I don't want him to be the governor anymore. I don't think he's done a particularly good job.
No, I mean, he's all about climate and stuff, but I know people that actually have like fish and wildlife jobs. They're actual like climate conservationists, and they say he hasn't done very much at all to protect the climate in Washington State.
Although among U.S. states, Washington is fairly decent on climate policy, but that's not a high bar.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, really.
Especially when you got some of these other states you got to compete against.
Mm-hmm.
When the bar is so low, you can just like step over it.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right.